You know, one of the deadliest nightclub fires in American history wasn't a slow burn. No, it was a literal explosion of chemistry and physics that created an unsurvivable inferno in less time than it takes to listen to a song. Today, we're doing a full forensic breakdown of how it happened and how its tragic legacy is now written into the fire codes that protect all of us. Let's get into it. So, picture this. It's 2003. The station nightclub is absolutely packed. The headlining band, Great White, hits the stage. Just a few seconds into their opening song, their tour manager sets off pyrotechnics. You know, a fountain of sparks. It was supposed to be part of the show. Instead, it was the spark that ignited a catastrophe, one that would be over in just 90 seconds. Those sparks shot straight into some soundproofing foam, and in an instant, a rock concert became an absolute inferno. All right, so in this explainer, we're going to tackle the big questions. What was that fatal combination of materials? What's the science behind how a fire can spread that fast? And why did the exits, the very things meant to save people, become a deadly human bottleneck? Then we'll look at how this tragedy literally rewrote our national fire codes, and most importantly, the survival lessons that every single one of us can learn from it. Okay, so to really understand this fire, you first have to understand the two key ingredients that came together that night. An ignition source, which was the pyrotechnics, and an incredibly dangerous fuel source that, frankly, had no business being there in the first place.
And that fuel was polyurethane foam. It was put up all around the stage to, dampen the sound. But here's the crucial part. This was not fire retardant foam. When this stuff gets hot, it doesn't just burn. It basically liquefies into a flammable gas almost instantly. The best way to think about it is not as a solid material, but as solid gasoline that was just painted on the walls, waiting for a spark.
Now, check out this data, because this is the hard science behind the disaster. Look at the heat release rate. The foam pumps out energy up to 15 times faster than the wood paneling right behind it. And the flame spread speed? It's over 10 times faster. This stuff wasn't just fuel, it was basically a high-powered accelerant lining the room. And where they put the foam was just a worst-case scenario. It wasn't just in a small patch. No, it was layered over the walls and, critically, all over the ceiling of the stage area. This placement meant that the second it caught fire, the flames would shoot straight up and across the ceiling, basically raining down intense heat on absolutely everyone. So now let's talk about the fire itself. We're going to break down the timeline here, because in this disaster, every single second counted. This is the clock. Just 9 seconds in, you see flames. It takes until 24 seconds for the crowd to even realize this isn't part of the show. By 30 seconds, the smoke is already thick, banking down from the ceiling. At the 1-minute mark, the point of no return is hit in the stage area. And just 30 seconds after that, the entire club becomes lethal. 90 seconds. That's it. That point of no return we mentioned at 60 seconds, it has a name. Flashover. And it is absolutely terrifying. Basically, the heat from that super hot smoke layer at the ceiling gets so intense, we're talking over 1,000 degrees Fahrenheit, that it radiates downward and causes everything combustible in the room to just burst into flames all at once. It's not that things are burning, it's that the air itself is on fire. Once flashover happens, survival is measured in seconds, if at all. But it wasn't just the incredible heat. The smoke from that burning foam was basically a chemical weapon. It was packed with what toxicologists call the toxic twins. You've got carbon monoxide, which stops your blood from carrying oxygen, and then hydrogen cyanide, which stops your body's cells from using the oxygen you have. It's a brutal 1-2 punch. One suffocates you at the blood level, the other at the cellular level. It's an incredibly fast and deadly combination. So, we have this incredibly fast fire creating this toxic, unsurvivable atmosphere. The only defense is to get out. But this is where the building's design and just basic human psychology created a fatal trap. This data is just staggering to look at. The club had several exits, but look at where everyone tried to go. The vast majority of people rushed right back to the main entrance they used to come in. This created a massive crowd crush, a pileup of people that completely blocked the doorway. And you can see how tragically underused the other exits were, while dozens of people had to literally smash windows to create their own way out. You see, this wasn't just panic. This was a cascade of systemic failures that violated the basic principles of the NFPA Life Safety Code. The pass to the main exit was a natural bottleneck. Other exits weren't clearly marked. The place was dangerously overcrowded. And critically, nobody ever made a pre-show announcement to tell people where the other exits were. Every single one of these failures just compounded the others, trapping people inside. The investigation that followed laid all these failures bare with painful clarity. But out of this absolute tragedy came one of the biggest and most important changes to fire safety law in modern history. This slide right here shows the single most important change. Before this fire, sprinklers weren't required in a lot of existing venues of this size. After this fire, the code was rewritten. Now, any new or even existing nightclub with more than 100 people has to have an automatic sprinkler system. End of story. This one change, born from this one night, has without a doubt saved countless lives since. And if you want proof of just how critical that change is, look no further than this quote from the official NIST investigation. They ran a computer simulation of the entire event, but they added sprinklers. The result? The fire was controlled and put out in under 2 minutes. Conditions inside remained survivable. The tragedy would have been prevented. It is just a heartbreaking and incredibly powerful validation for the new code. So, what does this all mean for us just in our everyday lives? The code changes protect the buildings, sure, but understanding the human element, that can protect you. There's a reason so many people rush to that one main entrance. It's a documented psychological phenomenon called exit familiarity bias. When we're under extreme stress, our brains go on autopilot. We don't logically search for the closest exit. We just automatically retreat through the same door we remember coming in. And at the station, that cognitive shortcut proved fatal. So I'm going to ask you this directly. The next time you walk into a crowded restaurant, or a theater, or any venue, do you take just 5 seconds to find the 2 nearest exits? Not just the one you walked in through. It's a simple, conscious action that can override that dangerous, subconscious instinct in an emergency. It's a habit that could genuinely save your life. And that's why this stuff matters. Because fire, as we've seen, is unforgivingly fast. And our own instincts, if we're not prepared, can make a terrible situation even worse. The only real countermeasure, the only defense we truly have, is preparation. It's knowing the risks, understanding the basics, and always having a plan. If you want more of these real-world safety breakdowns, deep dives into NFPA codes, and life-saving education, make sure you subscribe to HSestudy. Thanks for watching.